Hey guys, what's up? The date today is 14th of September, and from today onwards, what I'll do is like I'll be taking this question answer discussion series in English also because few of the people asked, not many, I would say, yeah, around 15 to 20 people asked, but still, I know that since you people are facing difficulties in understanding some sort of like how to attempt these questions, so what you can do is, guys, like since I'm just started this initiative, so the English people, I mean those who don't know Hindi, so I'd just request them to share this video with your friends so that your friends could also come to know that yeah, this sort of initiative is running in English also, and they could come and visit my channel and watch it, the question answers discussion, the way of question answer discussion, how I am discussing, I mean how to analyze the questions and how to write exact points, right? So these sort of things I'm running in my channel. So yeah, without wasting a further due time, let's start with the first question. Who are the Chakma Hajong people? Compare and contrast the Chakma Hajong issue with that of Rohingya crisis. Means there is direct question. This question is not at all like they have not winded up the question. They have asked it directly. First, you have to just write that who are the Chakma Hajong people, all right? And second is compare and contrast the Chakma Hajong people with the Rohingya crisis. I mean, both the issue you have to compare between each other, right? So because since both the news issues are in news, that's why they have asked this question. So anyways, let's see how to attempt this question, guys. So first we have to write about Chakma Hajong. So let's start the question first. See, Chakma Hajongs are the people of the Buddhist and Hindu minorities, ethnic groups who were living in Bangladesh and who are still living in some, Chittagong Hill districts of Bangladesh. But the majority factions have flew away to India and they are inhabiting as of now in Arunachal Pradesh region, right? So these are the Chakma Hajong people, and they fled from eastern Pakistan, which was then Pakistan, because they flew away in around 1960s, and Bangladesh got its name in 1971. Means Bangladesh got recognized in 1971, right? So yeah, they flew away from eastern Pakistan due to religious persecution, and also there was some sort of construction activities due to which they rehabilitated to India region. Okay, that was Kaptai Dam project was running there. So anyways, these are few of the facts which you can put forth. Next is what are the similarities and dissimilarities, as I've already discussed. So let's see the similarities first. Both were the victims of religious persecutions, all right, both the factions, whether it's Chakma Hajongs or now in the case is that Rakhine Muslims, means Rohingya Muslims, right? Both are the victims of religious persecutions. Both were considered stateless earlier, right? So, but see, in case of Chakma Hajongs, India is giving them recognition now, but in case of Rohingya people, they are still stateless. But still, both. If you have to write the similarities, then you can write that both were stateless. Next is there's mass migration of both the factions to India, because India is respectively neighborhood countries, and India is such a big country and so liberal country, so that whenever any sort of like migration happens, then people try to take their shelter in India only. So this is also you can write it. Next is both are the underdeveloped communities with poor socioeconomic indicators. If you read about the background of these both communities, then you will get to know that both have poor socioeconomic indicators. Next is they both have alleged persecutions, miss both the factions who's like in Chakma Hajongs and this Rohingya Muslims. So both were persecuted by the so said world's peaceful religion. Means in case of Chakma Hajong people, they were persecuted by the Muslim religion, and Muslim religion is known as world's most peaceful religion. If you just read Quran, then you will get to know about Muslim religions, right? In spite of that being peaceful religion, they have persecuted these Hindu and Muslim minority people. And in this case also, Buddhism is also, as of now, it is considered the world's most peaceful religion, but still Buddhist people are persecuting this Muslim minority factions who are inhabiting the region of Rakhine region of Myanmar, all right? So these are sort of similarities which you can put forth. Next is let's discuss about the dissimilarities, guys. In case of Chakmas, they inhabit safely as of now in India, right? But in case of Rohingya Muslims, they are not safe, right? Indian governments are ready to give citizenship right to the Chakma and Hajongs people, but in case of Rohingya people, no government is ready to give them citizenship right. These are sort of dissimilarities. Next is earlier inhabited the Chittagong Hill district region of then Pakistan. Means the in case of Chakma people, right? They were inhabiting the region of Bangladesh. That is Chittagong Hill district of Bangladesh. But in case of these Rohingya people, they inhabited the region of Rakhine region of Myanmar. All right. Next is about Chakma Hajongs, guys. If you see that they were, they took shelter in India due to two reasons. It was said, that is religious persecution also, and there was development agenda also. I'm just we have discussed about that Kaptai Dam issue, right? But in case of Rohingyas, they are only being persecuted due to the religious persecution only. Means they are just facing the religious persecution. All right, so this is the only reason. Or yeah. Next is like as I've told you that if you can put your few points that how to tackle these Rohingya issues, then that will be much better. So what you can write is that there is a need of international community to step up some sort of rational solution so that these Rohingya people could get some sort of shelter, right? Some sort of like peaceful shelter, not violent shelter, right? And also at the same time, the world community must pressurize the Myanmar government also to take some sort of actions, and also console the Bangladesh government, because if you see the in the map, then the Rakhine region, I mean the region from of Muslims, where the minority section of Muslim inhabit is in Myanmar. So from there, if you see, then the closest geographical location where they can move away is Bangladesh. So international community must console the Bangladesh government also, that they must give them some sort of shelter, right? So this is what you can write in this news. Next, in this question answers, sorry. Next question here asked is about India-Japan relationship, because Japan, the Prime Minister of Japan, Mr. Shinzo Abe, is in our India's visit, so that's why this question came. India and Japan share a commonality in the past and convergence of interest in the future. You have to comment on this, right? See, two things are given. We both countries are sharing commodities in the past. You have to write that what are the commodities that we have shared in past. That's it. And what are the prospects, what are the convergence of interest in the future, all right. So these both things you have to write. And also if you can in the way forward or the conclusion point, if you can write that okay, to though our relationship are strengthening, but still we have to improve our relationship with some sort of different things. If that is kind of way forward point you can put forth, right? So and how you will start this question, guys, how to write the introduction of this question. So what you can do in that sector, you can write the relationship between India and Japan. How that relationship, what is the some sort of facts you can put forth, right? Because since see the relationship you will anyhow write it in this parts, right? So what you can write in this part is what are the facts between India and Japan, like both are the Asian countries, right? You can make a construction of drawing also, a rough sketch that where is the location of India and Japan. So the sort of right things you can write in your introduction. Like what I have written is that both the countries are the Asian countries, and both the relationship of both countries since past have been up and down, all right. So see, I've drawn the diagram also, and the presently, if it is being in present context, it is seen that both the relations are getting progressive. How? Because we are having the mutual benefit, like we are coordinating with each other due to our mutual benefit, because India have the demography and IT sector, strong IT sector, and they have a strong technology sector. That's why we are mutually coordinating. Next is we are there to contain China, because China is the rival of both the countries. So in Hindi this is said that dushman ka dushman dost hai na. Next is military coordination is also there. You can write the examples of Malabar exercise and all. Next is we both the countries are giving a bid to United Nations Security Council, all right. So these are sort of thing you can write in your introduction. Next is past and evolving ties. Means since they have asked about the what is the past ties between India and Japan, right? But still you can write, means I've also written the evolving thing, because I was not getting much points in past, so I wrote the evolving things also. So let's see, the first point I've written is about Buddhism, because in cultural context we both are related to Buddhism, because Buddhism is considered to be the strong glue between these two countries. Next is Japan has helped us in freedom struggle also, because whenever our leaders face some problems, then they flew to Japan, and you can put many examples also. If you have read your history book, then you'll get to know about it. Next is Malabar exercise and nuclear deal, also are the sectors where both the countries are causing their ties. All right, like nuclear deal in the sector that we can write also, you can give the examples that we are the first country who has not signed the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, but still he has signed still our country has signed the nuclear deal with Japan, right? So it's sort of the first example of this kind. Next, fourth number point you can put here is both seek for the international peace and security and religious stability. Means these are kind of evolving things what is being happening between India and Japan. All right. Acha, what are the future prospects of both the countries? Guys, see, Japan is seeing aging population and India is having a huge demographic dividend. So both can mutually coordinate in this sector. Next is there's a huge potential of cultural ties between us, because we are both the conducted to this Buddhism religion. So there is huge prospects of our people to people relations getting higher and higher. So what we need to do for that? We need to do our cultural exchanges, we need to do our language exchange. Like if we'll tell the Japanese government that please introduce Hindi in your schools, all right, and they will also tell that okay, you include Japanese in your schools and colleges. So if some sort of this kind of things the government do, then the people to people relations in future are they can improve. Right. Next future prospect you can write is about nuclear sector related development, because it is being seen that both the countries have a bright future prospects in this, because Japan is also coordinating with us and we are also coordinating with Japan in this nuclear sector. All right. Next is joint investment kind of thing. You can write that we both the countries are jointly investing in the Asia Africa growth corridor. So why we are investing to contain the rising influence of China, right? So that sort of thing you can write that we can this sort of project we can also imply in other countries also, in other countries of Central Asia and European countries also, to get our to reduce the dominance of China and increase our influence. All right, so these are sort of questions you can write. Next is okay, yeah. Also guys, as I've told you that what you can do is you can write the future prospects also in conclusion, like if this relation though evolving, but still we can increase this relation to a huge extent. How? By increasing the bonhomie between both the countries, by by shorting up the disputes whichever is being occurring between the two countries. Say for example, recently there was an example in which they have filed a complaint against India regarding the WTO dispute. So what you can write is like since this WTO dispute is occurring there, so India could amicably decide with this Japan government that okay, if you are take your complaint back, but we'll just relieve the things whichever you are asking from us. Means since see we have just imposed anti-dumping duty on the steels imported from Japan, that's why they have registered complaint against India, right? So those sort of things India should not let that things happen, right? And amicably solve the all sort of solutions, then only our relations will get improved and improve day by day. All right. Okay, guys, next question is income inequality is the greatest irony of welfare state. See, this is a statement which you have to decode, but before decoding, just read the different other parts of question. Next is addressing implications of the income inequality, elucidate measures the state can take to address the issue. Means in this question they are asking for the what are the implications of income inequality, right? The first, this is the part one part, and second part is what are the measures that the state, that the government must take to address the issue. This is the second part. All right, so the two part you have got. Now you have to decode this sentence also. So how you would decode this sentence? See, you can decode this sentence by writing about welfare state, where the welfare term is given and what is the meaning of this welfare state. You can write it, right? And also, since it is given about income inequalities, guys, so you can put a bit of fact about what income equality is there in, you know, the world. Say for example, what I have written in my answer as a fact is the fact which was given in the editorial. I mean, in the whatever be the, I mean, the news, in whatever the fact was being given in news, I have incorporated that in my answer also. All right, so this is kind of introduction you can write about welfare state, then implications in which questions has been given. Usually, see, we, since when implications is asked, then we write positive implications also and negative implications also. But since in income they are asking about the implications of income inequality, then there is more of negative implication, right, and very less of positive implications. But still, if you don't know the positive implications, better leave it. You can write only negative implications also. See what I've written. When we'll discuss, then we'll get to know about it. But anyways, let's see, guys, let's start the discussion of this answer. See, welfare state is given in directive principles of state policy, under which there's a compilations. I mean, the state needs to comply with some sort of measures. Means they need to give effort for the welfare of people. That means they should come with the legislation which leads to the only the welfare of people. Means they have to keep the welfare of people above than the welfare of government, than the welfare of state, right? So miss in Hindi it is said that janta janardhan jo chahti hai wahi hoga. So this is kind of thing, means this is the meaning of basically welfare state, right? So yeah, and the second fact what I've already told you, that what I've taken from the article was that in case of inequality, top 1% is having the 22% of property rights. All right, this is the present situation, guys. So these are sort of facts which you can incorporate in your introduction. Next is, let's see, discuss about the implications of this. See, if there is income inequality, then poverty will increase, for sure, right? There will be poor human development index indicators, because there is irrational resource allocations. All right, there is immoral societal divisions. Means people will divide themselves on the basis of richness and poorness. All right, next is there is probability of growing casteism and communalism is also under this. All right, in fact, political people can play a dirty game. How they will ask for vote bank politics and all, right? Next is government will difficult, it will be difficult for the government to command for the poverty reduction or also sustainable, to ensure the sustainable economic growth. Because see, I'll give you an example to make you understand this very point, right? There's Vijay Mallya who is earning X amount of money. Say for example, he is earning out of, say for wait, I'll tell you. There is total 100 rupee in world. All right, Vijay Mallya is earning 80 rupee, and we rest people are earning 20 rupee. All right, now since the government has maintained that richest of the richest people will need to give a tax of say 30%, right? So he will give 30% of this 80 rupees. But since we are rest all we are earning 20 rupee only, so we are not even falling in tax slab, guys. All right, that's why I'm telling that if income equality will reduce, then it's quite sure that he will earn 60 rupees and we rest will earn 40 rupees. Then few of the people might come in tax slab, or all of the people might come in tax slab. Then there will be contribution of every people in national growth. All right, there are prospects that in future if we develop, then there will be inclusive development of all people. All right, so that's what I'm telling, that since there is income inequality, means since he is earning 80 rupees and we are earning 20 rupees and we are not even falling tax slab, so the government is getting huge difficulty for this poverty reduction. Because whenever the government has to bring with some sort of legislation, so that legislation is, government plays a dirty politics, what I've already discussed, that okay, we'll just bring out the legislation for only this section of people. Means what? The government will not come with the legislation for the benefit of this section of people. Government also does that, but that is a backdoor entry. Means government don't utter it out publicly, because if they will utter it out publicly, then in the coming elections they would not be getting vote for that, right? So that's why I'm telling that government is getting huge difficulty to command this poverty reduction measures also, because government has to take many measures regarding reducing poverty, and there is also unsustainable economic growth occurring due to this, nah, right? Means due to income inequality. So these are sort of implications you can write in an answer. Next is, it is also becoming the breeding ground of crime, guys. Say for example, I'm just earning 20 rupee and you are earning 1000 rupee. So I mean, since I'm an ethical person, so I'll not do crime. But any sort of unethical or immoral person, so what he'll do is like that, he'll just kidnap your son, he'll kidnap your daughter, or he'll just he'll give robbery in your house, or he'll theft in your house. So this sort of crime also increases, right? All right, so these are short all of negative implications what we have discussed, but one positive implication is also there of income inequality, right? It gives the poor and needy people the zeal and enthusiasm to do something in their life, to achieve success in their life. So yeah, so these are this is one positive implications what I have written. But anyways, guys, next part of the question was, what what state can do to reduce this income inequality. All right, so what state can do is, state can work on the regulatory loopholes to reduce the gap, to reduce the income inequality gap. How they will do it? Say for example, what Vijay Mallya has done is, Vijay Mallya has dodged the Indian government. Vijay Mallya has dodged the banks and taken loan from them. All right, and he has become a defaulter, in fact willful defaulter, who was, in spite of having that money, they have they have what in English will tell that they have given, see, Mallya has taken money for business purpose, but he has invested that money in other purpose, right? So that is he has become willful defaulter. So why he has become willful defaulter? Because the bank has given them the loan. All right, so why bank has given them the loan? Because bank couldn't analyze the thing that whether he would become willful defaulter or not. If bank would have analyzed that, then he wouldn't have become that willful defaulter. All right, so that's what I'm telling, that we should work on these all regulatory loopholes whatever is being happening to reduce the income inequality. Next is, we should work on reducing regional disparity also, guys, because one region is very much facilitative and other region is not facilitative at all. Say for example, Delhi, if you see, Delhi is very much facilitative, and if you see the Ara region of Patna, then the facilities are not as such what is available in Delhi. So of course, people will be more exposure to the developmental activities, but here the people will not be much exposed to the developmental activities. All right, so that's why I'm telling that government must do work on reducing the regional disparities, which is also leading direct or indirectly to income inequality, right? Next is tax structure. Government should make this tax structure more rational and progressive. See, now also it's progressive. Now also government is charging more from the people who are earning more, right? But the thing is, this must be more progressive. I'm giving you an example. Say for example, I have opened an MSME, micro small medium enterprise, right? So I have, through that micro small medium enterprise, I have given employment to 1 lakh people, right? 1 lakh people I've given direct employment in my MSME industry, and also beside my industry there will be many chaiwalas. All right, there will be many gutka walas, there will be many tobacco people, who are selling tobacco or some sort of bisledi water. Means many people will get job since I have opened my factory in this region. But in the second part, and here I am earning 1000 crore. All right, and also Salman Khan is also earning 1000 crore. All right, through his movies, but through him people are not getting direct employment. Direct employment in the sense only that hall people are getting direct employment, but hall is also a business. All right, miss the movie theater there, that is also they're doing business, so that you can't count it as a direct employment. All right, so that's what I'm telling, that when I have opened this MSME, I'm giving employment to huge number of people, and government is again charging me, say for example 250 crore, since I'm earning 1000 crore, and government is also charging him 250 crore. This is not done, right? So that's why I've told that government must not charge me 250 crore, and if government is charging me 250 crore, then government should not charge him 250 crore. Government should charge him more, like 350 crore or 400 crore. I'm just giving an example, right? So this is not exact figure what I've put forth, but anyways, that's what the tax structure what is being occurring now on now, that must be more progressive and rational. Next point is skill the existing workforce. Means existing workforce, it is seen that the workforce which are working as of now today is not to the extent what they should work on, right? So what government must do is government must reap our demographic potential, and must not let this demographic dividend to convert into demographic disaster. All right, next is vulnerable and marginal sections must also be focused upon by the government, and they should bring forth to the mainstream. By vulnerable and marginal section, here I mean say for example women, right? Say for example transgenders are also vulnerable sections, right? So if they are given employment, see what now transgenders are doing is that they goes to the this railway, and they just clap, and and they take money from people like 10 rupee or 20 rupee, whatever whatsoever. But still, if they are given like employment opportunities, they are giving the recognition in society, then they would not be doing this this kind of activities, and they'll directly incorporate themselves to the employment short of earning activities, right? So the need of the time is to mainstream those vulnerable sections, because they have huge potentials, and if their potential is reaped to the extent which is actually required, then trust me guys, this income inequality has a huge potential that in India it will get reduced. Next is social security provisions must also be ensured to each and every person's guide. All right, so this is also sort of tensions which each and every people is happening, that if I'm not socially secured, then in future anything could happen with me, right? So they fall in tension. So that's why I'm telling that these social security provisions must also be there, and universal basic income should also, government must also focus upon this universal basic income. See, I've incorporated this because in this year economic survey also, this there was a whole chapter in universal basic income, right? So if you are bringing universal basic income, then also there is probability of reducing the income inequality. All right, yeah. So guys, this was about the today's news discussion. We'll meet in next class. Till then, bye bye, take care. And one more request guys, since you guys have asked me to start this series in English language, so what I will request to you people is, whosoever, say for example South Indian friends are there, so please do share it with your friends, because if like more people are not watching, if more people will not watch this video, then there is, it is useless to make such kind of videos and give so much of labor in it, right? So I just request you to share it with your friends guys, please. There's a request. All right, okay guys, so this was about today's like 3 questions, dealing all the questions in depth. So yeah, we'll meet in next class guys. Till then, bye bye, take care, and thank you for listening to me guys. Thank you very much.